Hello, and thank you for joining us on today's episode of The Eagle. Today on The Eagle, we will be honoring the life and legacy of the former executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ibrahim Lamurde. He was a remarkable individual that left a permanent mark on our lives and the lives of Nigerians as a whole. Through his work, achievement, and passion, Lamurde inspired countless others and made a lasting impact on the EFCC and Nigeria. In the course of the program, we will be celebrating his life, share stories of his journey, and remember the memories that will forever be etched in our hearts. Our tribute to Ibrahim Lamurde will begin right after our regular updates. Aisha Muhammad is my name.
And I am Abbas Abubakar Omar. Welcome to the program.
We are going to tackle financial crimes problems in Nigeria with a human face and a heart of lion.
First on our lineup is the report where the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, disclosed that the commission has secured 3,175 convictions and recovered over 156 billion naira between May 29, 2023 and May 29, 2024. Ojochukutami Eche tells us more.
In the last 1 year, when the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to office, the EFCC had recovered over 156 billion naira, over $43 million, more than 25,000 pounds, almost 187 euros, 51,360 Chinese yuan, 3,750 Canadian dollars, 740 Australian dollars, 74,754 Japanese yen, 35,000 South African rands, 42,390 UAE dirhams, 247 Saudi riyals, and 21,580 and 867,631 of cryptocurrencies. Ola Olukoyede, represented by the Secretary to the Commission, Mohammed Hamajoda, made this revelation at the launch of the Zero Tolerance Club at the University of Abuja in Gwagwalada, Abuja. Speaking further, the chairman stated that though the EFCC put up impressive performance within the year, involvement of youths in internet fraud has continued to pose serious concerns to every stakeholder in the anti-graft war. He called on students of the university to stay away from internet fraud, stressing that conviction for fraud is a burden that will leave a lifelong scar on the fortunes of the young people. Olukoyede further stated that there was no justification for cybercrime anywhere.
Nigeria is in present state owing to the cumulative effects of corrupt practices. As students and potential leaders of this great nation, you need to have deeper insight into the havoc being wreaked on our nation by the monster of corruption. The EFCC has been relentless in tackling corruption and other forms of economic and financial crimes, including money laundering, embezzlement, forgery, advance-free fraud, contract scam, employment scam, land and property fraud, tax fraud, internet fraud, stealing, bribery, procurement fraud, banking fraud, among others.
Also speaking, the acting director of the Public Affairs Department of the EFCC, DCE, Wilson Uwujaren, said the commission was at the university not only to inaugurate the Zero Tolerance Club, but also to mobilize youths against the ills of corruption. He further explained that the club is a platform for continuous conversation on why our nation has to fight and win the war against corruption.
The ZTC Club, as far as we are concerned in the EFCC, is a platform of continuous conversation on why our nation has to fight and win the war against corruption. We must all be involved in this fight. And it is much more important for the youth. Students belong to that category of Nigerians. For the youth to take the front row in terms of this fight.
In his welcome address, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Abdul Rashid Allah, charged the youths to be productive and avoid doing anything that will destroy the good name or image of their families. He tasked them to be productive like their counterparts in developed nations where talents are used for creativity and innovation rather than indulging in internet fraud. Allah commended Olukoyede and management of the commission for finding the University of Abuja worthy of the Zero Tolerance Club.
Anywhere in the world, is it America or Japan, is it South Korea, or even Russia, anywhere, they say Google or they say Yahoo. You're talking about enormous wealth created by young people. Young people creating wealth everywhere. The best application today that makes us enjoy our life is created by the young person. Some of them may not even continue school because they felt that school is really depriving them of the time they needed to think through. Some of them, when they come back from school, what they do is create, is innovate. Innovation everywhere. But come to Nigeria and talk about Yahoo. If you even say Yahoo, Yahoo, you are in trouble. What it meant to us is crisis, is manipulation, is corruption.
In his presentation on the ills of cybercrime, Assistant Commander of the EFCC, David Nkwe, advised youths to channel their energy towards productive and beneficial purposes for themselves and the nation at large, pointing out that criminality offered no gain to anyone.
Advanced fraud and cybercrime, which is a new trend, that bothers us because those who participate in this genre of crime are more of the younger generation who remembers Hush Puppy and where he is today. He's serving 11-year jail term in the United States. Who remembers Emmanuel Umude, the man who sold the Abuja airport to a Brazilian bank at the sum of 242 million naira, which led to the collapse of that bank. He's cooling his feet in prison. And so crime does not stay.
Head, Enlightenment and Reorientation Unit of the Commission, Aisha Mohammed, said the essence of the launch of the club in universities was to develop, nurture and empower future leaders to be proactive and be ambassadors of the Commission through education. It is also to guide them to propagate the core values of anti-corruption in their family, neighborhood, schools, communities, societies and the country at large.
Fight against corruption is actually for everyone. The EFCC cannot do it alone, and that's why we actually come to our stakeholders to talk to them. And the youth are one of the most important stakeholders we have. You are the future of Nigeria, and we need you to please and please and please spread this message. The purpose of the club is actually to provide a platform for contribution and involvement of Nigerian students and youth in the fight against corruption, economic and financial crimes, and related vices.
Highlight of the launch was the presentation of the manuals and magazines of the Commission to the patron of the club and a signage to the school.
I pledge to make integrity my guide, to be honest, responsible, and excel in my academics. My integrity shall stand as a beacon for all. So help me God. Clap for yourself. Congratulations.
Ojo Chokutami Eche, reporting for The Eagle.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, called for collective efforts as effective means of fighting economic and financial crimes and other acts of corruption. They made this disclosure in Abuja at the 2024 first quarterly meeting of Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC, themed the role of religious leaders in combating corruption and cybercrime in Nigeria. Chinonso Alexander Eni tells us more.
The EFCC boss, who spoke through the acting director, Public Affairs Department, Wilson Owujaren, described corruption as a cankerworm that has eaten deep into the fabrics of the society, with its attendant effects on Nigerians. According to him, corruption has hindered national development and well-being of Nigerians, as well as socio-cultural, economic and infrastructural development of the nation. The EFCC's boss pointed out that Nigeria had the resources to manage its wealth and development, but for the debilitating effect of corruption. He stressed that to salvage the situation, every Nigerian must own the fight against corruption and warned against leaving the fight to the EFCC alone. Olukoyede observed that looters are united by their common greed, stressing that their identities and religious backgrounds never matter as long as their fingers are on the till. Therefore, for the corruption fight to be meaningful, it must be waged on all fronts, drawing on all collective energies to defeat a common enemy.
I consider the faith community as one of the most critical stakeholders for us in the EFCC in fighting corruption in Nigeria. The main problem militating against the development of our nation is corruption. It is a cankerworm which has eaten deep into the fabric of our society with attendant effects.
The EFCC boss charged religious leaders to respect and perform their clerical duties by going beyond sermons, but living a positive life that reflects honesty, integrity, compassion, and goodliness. He also urged them to work in close alliance with anti-corruption agencies by aligning the messages of their holy books with anti-corruption campaigns for the benefit of the nation. In his remark, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, said that corruption is a deadly virus that destroys the fabric of a nation in multi-layer and multi-dimensional ways. He disclosed that without formidable systems, strong institutions, integrity and character, no system and no individual could be shielded from the dangers of corruption. Akume highlighted some of the successes recorded by the present administration, stating the institutions that battle to fight corruption has been the EFCC, ICPC, police and the judiciary, and called for more support from the populace.
The theme of this meeting, the role of religious leaders in combating corruption and cybercrime, is very appropriate. The government deepens its efforts in the fight against corruption, the most significant vice that has retarded Nigeria's development.
He urged participants to deploy their moral, religious and traditional knowledge and authority to come up with strategies that will help the government to tackle them. His Eminence, Sultan of Sokoto and the Chairman, Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, described corruption as a monster that required serious attention before it consumed the entire nation. He commended Olukoyede in his efforts to rid the country of corruption, stressing that anti-graft agencies and the federal government needed maximum support and help.
There are two things in this world, the good thing and the evil thing. All good things come from education. All evil things come from ignorance. Ignorance. That's what you read. Of course, your religion, you know what religion said you should do, you should not do. Whether it's your Holy Quran, the Bible.
President, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Bishop Daniel Oko, said that what is required to fight corruption in Nigeria is to have a strong and morally sound leadership that can reduce crass materialism in Nigeria and kill the culture of worshipping material things in the society. He stated that the challenge and the task before everyone, therefore, is to give a strong and clear moral leadership to bring down the altar of materialism and champion the movement to change the orientation that worships materialism in our people so that systemic corruption can be reduced to the lowest level.
The theme of this quarterly meeting is the role of religious leaders in combating corruption and cybercrime. It is hoped that this will afford us the opportunity to sincerely evaluate our leadership at various levels and encourage one another to continue in our commitment to work towards a better society for all.
The theme of the quarterly meeting is the role of religious leaders in combating corruption and cybercrime. I am Chinonso Alexander Eni, reporting for The Eagle.
Today, as earlier stated, we will be honoring the legacy of a leader we lost in the anti-corruption world. Our tribute today celebrates the life and achievement of former EFCC chairman Ibrahim Lamurde, a trailblazer who left an indelible mark. Join us as we remember his remarkable journey, his accomplishment, and the impact he had on the lives of many. Our tribute to Ibrahim Lamurde begins now.
Have at the back of my mind, and what I always advise people is that when you are there, you should do the best you can and put in your effort and make sure that you have improved on what you made, so that history will judge you kindly at the end of the day.
It is said that the death of a loved one is an amputation, as we honor the life and legacy of Ibrahim Lamurde, a distinguished Nigeria police officer and former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Born on December 20, 1962 in Mubi, Adamawa State, Ibrahim Lamurde attended the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and graduated in 1984 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Sociology. He enlisted in the Nigeria Police Force in 1986, rising to the rank of Deputy Inspector General of Police. Lamurde's career with the EFCC started in 2002 as the Pioneer Director of Operations. In December 2007, he took over as acting chairman following the exit of Malam Nuhu Ribadu, holding the position until Farida Waziri was appointed and confirmed by the Senate as executive chairman in June 2008. Lamurde would later take the reins from Waziri as acting chairman on November 23, 2011. He was later confirmed as substantive chairman of the EFCC on February 15, 2012, and held the office until November 9, 2015, when he was succeeded by Ibrahim Magu.
I was outside the country attending to issues that have to do with our mandate in the EFCC when I received the shocking news. It was quite devastating because I never expected it. We spoke, I think, a couple of weeks or 3 weeks before then, and I was full of life. And when I received this, it was quite shocking to me because I wasn't privy to the fact that he was sick before then, and suddenly we heard about his passing away. So it was quite shocking to me, and at the same time I believe it was also quite shocking to the entire management and staff of EFCC.
As a young police officer, Lamurde's skills as consummate fraud investigator caught the attention of his superiors when he was deployed in 1993 to the Special Fraud Unit SFU of the Nigeria Police. One of Lamurde's colleagues at the SFU was Mrs. Waziri.
Lamurde was a great fighter. He was humble and very, very quiet, but he contributed a lot. Actually, for me, in the Special Fraud Unit, SFU, he was the right-hand man that I confided. He was responsible for my success.
While in the SFU from 2000 to 2001, Lamurde was seconded to the United Nations Civilian Police in the Emerald District of East Timor as a Chief Investigation Officer. He was later to serve as Divisional Police Officer in the Oyo State Command of the Nigeria Police before fate brought him to the EFCC. As pioneer director of operations, two-time acting chairman and later executive chairman, there is no other officer that has impacted the EFCC more than Lamurde. He played key roles in building the Commission's foundation and mentoring officers that are today manning strategic offices within the Commission. He was also a reformist, and his legacy in the Commission includes the establishment of the professional responsibility arm of the Commission, the Department of Internal Affairs, which was recently renamed the Department of Ethics and Integrity to police officers of the Commission.
The legacy he has brought, you have seen live when we went for his burial. Even before they bring the corpse from Cairo, you can see the staff that were trooping in and out of the family to commiserate with the family members of the loss of a brother and a colleague. And Mr. Ibrahim Abdullah Lamurde was a very humble and straightforward. And almost each and every challenge you brought to him, he would just smile and say, sit down. And then he will take you through how to sort out the issue amicably within the shortest possible time.
Lamurde also renamed the EFCC's Training and Research Institute, CARO, as the EFCC Academy, with an expanded mandate to train all cadre of officers of the Commission and other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria and indeed Africa. Under his stewardship, the EFCC Academy became the center for anti-corruption training in West Africa. Lamurde was also passionate about corruption prevention and created the Public Affairs Department to drive the Commission's prevention mandate.
Professionalism is key. Professionalism, Mr. Lamurde was not the intrusive, he was not a micromanager. You know, he wasn't a micromanager. He would give you that window, that room, that ample space to express yourself professionally. And he'd give you the resources as much as he had to give. He would, you know, so you would come out, and if you're able to defend your ideas, he would flow with you. He would not put a stumbling block in your way. If anything, he goes ahead of you to remove stumbling blocks. And he's a fast thinker. You know, so he gets to destination while you are still struggling to explain to him. He already is there.
Lamurde's dedication to service and commitment to fighting corruption earned him recognition and respect worldwide.
Mr. Ibrahim Lamurde was a rare gem. He was somebody that would say that he's somebody that has achieved quite a lot. We see him as our mentor, and he's also a statesman to the nation. And he has, over time, to us, we see him as somebody who is well-disciplined, amiable, who has a large heart, who is always ready to sacrifice, to see to it that the work is done. He is somebody who stood for justice. He's an anti-corruption Caesar. So Mr. Lamurde is quite so many things to all of us.
As a gallant anti-graft fighter, Lamurde and his contributions to the nation's fight against corruption will never be forgotten. Lamurde died in Cairo, Egypt on May 25, 2024 at the age of 61. The EFCC chairman, Ola Olukoyede, and the entire management and staff of the commission ask God Almighty to grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Amin.
Aisha,
yes, Abbas.
Even though I have never worked with Mr. Ibrahim Lamurde, a lot has been said about him, his humility and gentility. May his soul rest in peace.
Yes, Abbas, true. Oga Lamur, as we fondly call him, was a gentle, humble, and simple boss. We're really going to miss him. Our prayers are that the Almighty God grant him Al-Jannatul Firdausi, forgive his sins, and console his family. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of The Eagle. Until we come your way again, keep sending in your messages, enquiries and suggestions to info@efcc.gov.ng. You can also call us on 0809 3322644. Don't forget to use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle Eye app, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, you follow the steps and report fraud on the go. And you can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them.
Also, remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and not your observations of the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. Listen to EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, the voices against economic and financial crimes. I am Abbas Abubakar Umar.
And I am Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with this parting words that says, in the hearts of those who loved you, you will always be there. As you were, you will always be treasured forever in our memory. We will keep in our heart the love of the past, for there it was planted forever to last. Your presence we miss, your memory we treasure. Loving you always, forgetting you never. Continue to rest in peace, Mr. Ibrahim Lamardi. We will definitely miss you. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others around you, and do enjoy the rest of the day.